There are tons of tracks that come out every year in MX bikes, and I want to highlight some from each month of the year from 2024. If you're interested in my all-time favorite tracks of the year, make sure to hit that subscribe button because that video is coming very soon. But with that said, let's jump right into her. Starting things off with January, we have Aerial San Francisco, created by the boys over at Aerial. Now, San Francisco might be one of my all-time favorite supercross tracks in the game on a 450. On a 250, it is extraordinarily not my favorite. I think for January, you could put Candyland here. I just went with San Francisco because I personally really like the track, but I know a lot of other people would probably have put Candyland. But yeah, San Francisco is amazing. It's great in a 450, like I said. It's all right on a 250, but just the ruts, the way the jump is, it's hard. Look at my mid cornering ability and my even more mid whoop speed there. Moving on to February, we have Steckenberg, created by Hell Machine and JVDL. Okay, I did not know that this course was created by JVDL way back in the day on an old MX vs ATV game, which makes this even more cool. I thought that this was just an old track from an old game that they brought over, but it was actually originally created by JVDL and then they recreated it. So it's really cool. This is hands down, I think, one of the most fun and unique sand tracks in the game. Plus it's beautiful. It's great for thumbnails. If you've ever seen like 50% of Trojan's thumbnails, this is the track he uses, but for a good reason, because it's absolutely exquisite. Moving on to March here, we have the jungle track of Canyon Rush. All right, you have to respect this course because when we're talking about immersion, this track is at the very top, okay? The sounds, the environment, like we're in the jungle, okay? We're straight in the jungle, and it's insane. He's got animals. There's like elephants and there's, I don't know, man. It's just quite the track. It's just so immersive. It's very long. It's like a 2.5, almost 3-minute lap time. Pretty challenging. Lots of cool environmental things like a bridge right there. Yeah, bridges. Top tier bridge. Speaking of tracks that look good that we use for thumbnails, we have Bamland here by Hell Machine. If you've ever seen about 50% of my thumbnails, I use this track because it's absolutely gorgeous. Bamland is just, it's beautiful. And the outdoor track's really fun. It's got a soupy track and it's got an arena cross track. And I'm a big fan of Justin Barsha because I like rev limiters, okay? If you're a content creator and you're looking to up your thumbnail game, Steckenberg or Bamland, it just is what it is. I know the track's called Bam, but I'm calling it Bamland. All right, let's go over into May now, and we have Aerial MXGP Round 10 USA. Okay, this is Glen Helen. All right, and this is by JV. I don't know what to say. It's Glen Helen. It's amazing. It's the perfect Glen Helen track. It's rough. It's steep. It looks amazing. It looks absolutely gorgeous. It's a JV track. You know, I don't know. I just recently went to Glen Helen, and I gotta say, it was just like this. Honestly, a little bit scarier. Obviously, a lot of bit more scary. Man, my words are absolutely homeschooling themselves today. Hands down, the best Glen Helen we have in the game. Environmental is just beautiful. You know, the track itself, environmental, bro. I don't know. Let's just move on to June. Moving on to June, we have another aerial track, and I'm realizing that we're doing quite a bit of aerial tracks, but I don't know what to tell you. Mount Morris is just an absolute top tier track in the game. One of the, if not the best outdoor track ever in the game. I know that's kind of a hot take, but I really like it. The dirt textures to the ruts, one of the most scenic tracks too. Some of the screenshots that come off of this track are just insane. Flow's great too. The ruts hold you really well. It's an aerial track. I don't know. You know, it is just great. Let's move on to July now. July, we have Walnut V2. All right. Of course, we had to put Walnut V2 in here because Walnut V1 is so legendary and Fat Muppet is an absolute legend. So we had to throw Walnut V2 in here. Super flowy, super fun. One of the only pay tracks other than like an aerial track that I saw consistently in the online server rotations. People were grinding this track when it came out. I went for world record. Troy went for world record. I then beat Troy, and then he gave up. I don't know, and then I think Cam just destroyed us both or something like that. So I don't know why I even try for world records, because I don't really have a chance. Sometimes I can get a world record if I'm like the first one on the track. August here, we have ET Ranch. All right, this is an amazing replica of Eli Tomek's ranch in Colorado. Now, this track is a little bit deceiving. All right, it's a little bit more spread out and wide open, and it doesn't look very rough. But when you start to actually ride the course, you realize it's actually really challenging. The ruts are really, really good. It's absolutely gorgeous. All of these tracks are beautiful, and it really just gives you that Eli Tomek kind of vibe. I don't know what that vibe is, but when I play this track, I just want to be on a Yamaha in the rev limiter, just absolutely barking, you know what I mean? All right, let's move on to September here, and this is a supercross track on one of the most gnarly tracks in the game. Okay, this is Copper Mine. The outdoor track might be the hardest track ever in the game, and I totally did not pick to do my lap on the supercross track because there was a major skill issue. That's not at all why I did that. The supercross track is actually really hard too, but Copper Mine is basically, take like the biggest mine you've ever seen in China. If you've ever seen that video of the mine collapsing, it's basically that video, but a motocross track's in the middle of it, and then they made it extremely difficult. It's a really cool idea, really cool concept, not concept. That concept is not a word. To October here, listen, when I clicked on October and I saw the tracks, we had to go with the hills, boys. This is one of the coolest free ride areas to ever touch the game. Pelster always does these free ride maps or free ride areas that are just so unique. Okay, he originally did Pelster's Playground, which was kind of like an Ocotillo vibe, and then now we have the hills from SoCal, which is just amazing. I think he absolutely nailed it, and I cannot imagine the amount of effort and work and testing and everything that went into a project like this. It is just incredible. It is quite literally feels like you're just ripping through the hills in SoCal, and you got huge jumps, trails, everything. It is just so cool. Moving on to November, we have Flying Iron Horse by TFC. And TFC hasn't put a track out in a very, very long time, and it was really cool to see him put this track out. I personally really enjoy this track. I'm a big color palette guy. I like the way things look, and this track looks very nice. Okay, it's great for edits. It's great for thumbnails. It's just very, very aesthetically pleasing. The track itself is really, really fun, and it's pretty challenging because it's like easy in some ways, but then it's also not. It'll just reach up and bite you, you know what I mean, when you're least expecting it like that. Like, I mean, I just kind of am bad. And now for December, we have 2009 St. Louis by Checkers, and this is kind of a sleeper one in my opinion. I didn't really see too much coverage on this track, and my PC was broke when it came out, so I didn't get to download it immediately. So after my PC was fixed, I downloaded it and gave it a whirl, and I gotta say, this track is absolutely amazing. It's very cool how he tried to replicate the the real life race, and so there's a lot of the lines you can do in the game that they were doing IRL, but they feel huge in the game, and it feels very rewarding to hit the big lines, and it also just flows really good. I like his ruts. Some of the corners just hold you really, really well, and you could just wide open through them. The whoops are really challenging, but they're really fun when you get them, and overall it's just a great track. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I love you boys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.